Well, hello. Um, Welcome once again. This is Ejewa. You're welcome to the Woke Africa show. I'd like to say a warm welcome again. And to my new subscribers, I want to thank you so much. And I want to say a big thank you for sticking with the channel, and to my existing subscribers. You guys are awesome. I'm forever grateful, and I want you to know that I really do appreciate you. And let's keep on being strong, and let's keep fighting the good fight. So today my topic is, I missed the coronavirus chaos. Please find your center. You need to find your center even in these difficult times. You need to find your center in these hard times, because what I know around the world is that, you know, some countries have had their peak. They've gone, they've had cases rise to the peak, and the kind of like it's coming back down, whilst other countries are just starting to, have a feel of what the coronavirus is all about. So please, you need to find your center, because right now there's still a chance that you can stock up on your food. You can, start researching, natural remedies that can help protect you from the virus. This is just the, information that I'd like to give to you for the beginning. But let's talk about what they say the prevention of the disease or the virus is. Well, according to the World Health Organization, you are advised to at least wash your hands 5 to 10 times a day if you have access to potable water. If you do not have access to water, then you are advised to use hand sanitizer in place of that, something with alcohol in it, a hand sanitizer, or, you know, cleansing, pads. You are also advised to kind of like clean all surfaces, because according to them, the virus can stay on surfaces between 3 to 5 days. Between 3 to 5 days. So it's not advisable to keep your surroundings dirty. It's not advisable to keep your surroundings, unkempt. So I want to advise you to like focus on, a hygiene kind of routine at home. So you need to, keep your home clean. You need to, if you have to rearrange the house, to get rid of stuff, so that you have a way of keeping the house clean, then I guess that's what you're going to have to do. Because as they keep saying, everyone keeps saying, these are not ordinary times. And because these are not ordinary times, you want to make sure that you do not live your life in an ordinary way. So keeping a clean routine at home is very important. Now, what are those things that you should be keeping clean? I think that if you live alone, it's easier, because you live alone, and if you are like at home and restricting yourself from going out, you know what you have to do. But if you're not at home, and you're like going outside everywhere and coming back, you need to take care of cleaning precautions, because when you go outside, you touch public doorknobs, public handles, you touch you know how do you call it? You touch guardrails when you're going up the staircase or coming down the staircase, and these are like places that you can easily contract the disease. Like you can easily contract it from these areas because everybody's touching, and you are not even sure if any of the people touching these things are infected or not. So please, when you get home, you first need to wash your hands. If possible, take a bath, then apply your hand sanitizers if you have any. You can kind of like spray your Lysol to disinfect the air. You can also use bleach. Actually, you can put a bit of bleach in water and wipe all the doorknobs, wipe all the surfaces, that are exposed surfaces. You need to wipe all of it clean. You can do that with Dettol. You can do that with Lysol. You can do that with bleach. You wipe the surfaces clean and disinfect the air if you can. Now, if you're living in a group, in a house situation, you have to know that people can be spreading the disease for like 14 days before they start showing symptoms. So it's important that if you live in a group, in a home, or in a house, you wear your mask, your nose mask, and you get serious. You get serious about hand washing routine, and you get serious about surface disinfecting routine. You get serious about disinfecting the air with Lysol or anything that is equivalent, because the danger in living in a house with more than 2 or 3 persons is that if you are not keeping a very good quarantine kind of situation, somebody may just run out to the pharmacy to grab a vitamin C or to grab this and come back. And those are the places that people, you find people just trooping to in times of, pandemics like this. So if you are more than like maybe 3 people living in the same house, and it's not the situation of parents and children, but it's the situation of adults who individuals who have the liberty to kind of like do whatever they want to do, then at that point you all have to come together and have a meeting and have a commitment to say that yes, we are going to stick by this. We are going to keep a routine that ensures that we are all safe. So that is one thing that you can do. So I want to tell you a bit about what is going on down here in Ghana because the last time I came to you was when there was travel restrictions on people coming to Ghana from countries that are. And hey, I see someone online. Hello. I decided to do this live at this time because um it's a time that I feel comfortable that I can do this and come to you. But it's going to be a very short live because I'm going to come your way again in the evening, more in the evening time where I know my subscribers are up, and have another live chat with them. But I needed to come in. Oh, hello, Felicia. Good morning, Felicia. How are you doing? I see you. Fantastic. So what I was saying is that before I jump to this is that if you are more than five, and Felicia, you can contribute, you can share your thoughts, because the Woke Africa show is about conversation anyways. So if you're more than three living in a home, it's important for you to have a meeting and understand what the routines are going to be for you. How you're going to keep your safety routine. If somebody goes out and come back, the kind of safety procedures that they have to go through. And so later on in the evening, when I come back, I'm going to talk about stocking up food for a pandemic like this, because I don't think this thing is coming to an end anytime soon. So you should start preparing your mind that for the next 18 to 22 months, we might be going through the situation. It's going to be different for countries, because the level of alert for countries may differ as the infection kind of like wobbles. It's not stable. It's high on in other areas, and then it's quite low in other areas. So you want to kind of like prepare yourself for the fact that in the next 18 months to 22 months, we are actually going to be experiencing this. And hey, Felicia, I just put a link here. You can actually call in. Let me put the link there. You can actually call in for us to have a conversation, because I want to hear what you think. I want to hear the safety precautions that you're taking for this. But yeah, so as I'm saying, the situation might actually carry on for a while, and you want to prepare your mind, you want to prepare yourself, because when it just gets to the point where it's really serious, shops are going to close down. And especially for my subscribers who live in Ghana, currently you can just go out and buy anything. You can go out and buy whatever you want to buy. You can even go out to friends, you can go meet friends or have meetings and all of that, but it's not going to last. This kind of freedom that we enjoy right now, going out to town, buying stuff, buying fresh food and all of that, it's not going to last forever. It's coming. Okay. Right now, I think that Ghana government is trying to pass a law in in parliament, a law that would allow the government to impose certain restrictions that otherwise is against the human rights law. So this will allow the government to impose restrictions. And at the moment, it's not passed in Ghana yet. So the government can advise, but trust me, it's going to leave the advice stage. It's going to get to a point where the law is going to be passed. And when the law is passed, there's going to be restrictions. And when there are restrictions, we are not going to get the opportunity to be going out and be buying stuff and be doing that. So we have to take hoarding food. Well, I wouldn't say hoarding food, but like saving enough food to, be able to take care of your family when the bad days come, because the bad days will come. And I'm so sorry that I have to say that, because If you look at what is happening around the globe, people are getting the disease and they haven't even come into contact with nobody that's sick. People are getting the disease and nobody knows how they're getting this disease. So the spreading of this disease is not if, it's not a matter of if. It's not a matter of if you come in contact with people. It's a matter of when it's going to happen. Because I can't explain people getting the disease and they've not come into contact with anybody who is infected. So please, I'm hearing that people are relaxed, people are taking it easy, taking it cool. What I advise is keeping a positive spirit. Like, you need to keep a positive spirit, but this is not a joke. It's not funny either, because this disease is affecting people. Like, if you look at the numbers coming out of Italy, when I heard there were 650 people dying yesterday, or I think the day before, in Italy, it touched me in a way that I didn't believe it would. I actually cried because it was too much for me to hear that 650 people, or approximately that number, died in a day. It shook me. It shook me. So we need to take this seriously. I'm telling you that things are happening. So it doesn't matter where you are, wherever you find yourself. Safety, safety, safety. You take your precautions seriously. Again, I was talking about if you are you have a living situation and your numbers are, over 3, and you are not a family. You are adults living in this situation. And I was talking about having that meeting to discuss how, you're going to manage this. So please have a meeting. That is number one. You need to call for a meeting because everyone has to be on the same page. This stream is going to be very brief because I wanted to bring this to you. You need to sit down, have that meeting. After having that meeting, you need to decide on safety protocols, on when somebody is leaving, going out, and when somebody is coming in. What are the safety protocols? I advise that if people are taking safety materials out, it is key amongst your protocol to ensure that you have a dustbin outside. They can discard those safety items in the dustbin before coming in to the house. And that is okay. I think that I shouldn't go into this now. I should just complete what the protocol should be. So we have having the meeting to discuss your safety measures at home. That's number one. Two, you have to have a going out and coming in protocol to decide, how you keep what is outside out, and then how you keep what is inside in. Third, you have to think about food rationing and some kind of entertainment. Because if you are going to do this individually, I think you might not survive it. Good morning. Hey, Tony. Welcome, Tony. It's good to have you here. It's really good to see you. So I put the link. You can call in and talk to us. If I'd like to hear what you've put in place, your safety routines. I'll talk about mine, but I want to hear what you're doing in this time. So I'm talking about putting together a protocol for If you live in a house, you are all adults, it's not a family situation, but you're more than three living in a house. So one, I talked about, deciding on the safety protocol at home. Two, I talk about movements, going in and coming out, how to, keep what is outside outside, and keep what is inside inside. Three, you have to decide on food. You know, are you going to do the food thing individually, or you're going to stick together? Because these are not ordinary times. These are times of crisis. So how are you going to manage your food to ensure that your food is, your food lasts, and your food is able to support the entirety of everybody living in the house until this crisis passed? And I'm telling you, remember that you should cast your eyes that, or your mind, that this pandemic and this indoor situation is going to last not less than 18 to 22 months. There might be a bit of changes, but I don't see this ending in the next. Yeah, yeah, please go for it. I don't see changes in the next 5 to 6 months, like, life returning to normal in the next 5 to 6 months. No, I think it's going to last, well over 18 to 22 months. So when you're storing food, when you're like, in that situation, you have to decide if you want to do this together, like have a food bank in the house where you guys can monitor how your food is going. Especially, there's going to be a time and that time will come. There's going to be a time that you cannot go outside to buy nothing. You cannot go outside to buy nothing. There's going to be a time that is going to be difficult to get supplies. So now that you can probably go out to buy something, do not touch the food you're keeping. The food you're keeping is for a rainy day. So that food is not meant for you to be consuming it now because you bought it. You need to separate the two. The food you're keeping now, the toilet paper, everything that you're buying for the rainy day, unless you find yourself in a quarantine situation, don't touch it. If you are not under forced quarantine and you can go out and buy stuff, then you need to keep that food for when you cannot go out, when that lockdown happens, because the lockdown is coming. That lockdown situation is coming. So please kindly just differentiate between the two. Know what resources is for now, that you can go out and buy stuff, and what resources is for when push comes to shove and everything else is closed and you have to stay indoors, because you don't want to be quarantined and hungry. Crazy stuff can happen, family. Crazy stuff can happen if you're quarantined and you're not sick and you're hungry. And food delivery is such a problem because of all the protocols it probably has to go through. I pray for that those times will never come. I pray that there won't be times that the internet breaks down. I pray that there won't be time where communications break down, because Nobody wants to get out there to put their life on a risk. I pray that that situation will not come, that at least we would have the internet, at least we'll have electricity, at least we'll have communication to be able to, talk to each other, to be able to ask for help and all of that. So that is it. The food protocol should be identified and people must kind of like decide what they want to do. Also, I think that when you live in that, in that situation, people must kind of like realize that, for everybody to be able to succeed or make it through this, it's no longer the time where we acted or did things individually. Oh, I don't want too many people like, oh, I'm like this and I'm like that. We have to put the ego aside. We have to put the ego aside. We have to put the differences aside and work together, because that's the only way that we can survive this. Okay, so let me tell you quickly about in a family situation. I think in a family situation where there's a mom and there's a dad, it's easy because mom and dad can just put the safety protocols in order, and then children can also have their educational routine, because kids must still be able to study. They must still be able to have that time where they feel like they're in school. So mom and dad have their jobs cut out for them. In a family situation where parents must still go out to work, just remember, it's better to discard everything, probably walk into the house naked and go straight to the shower and wash down. Because when you live with your children, your husband or your wife, you have to think that whatever you go outside and pick, you're bringing it straight home. So if you go out and you've made some contacts, you've gone to some public places that you're not supposed to be, or even you're supposed to be there, but you realize that there are people coming in, although it's reduced, but there's still people who need to come out and do stuff. Like you need to go get electricity, you need to go get basic amenities that you don't have control of. You cannot. I don't know how much electricity you can hoard, but if you have to do these things, if you put on a mask before you left, you put on gloves before you left, or whatever, just make sure that when you come back home, before you enter your house, you take off your shoes. Okay? Take off your mask, your gloves, put them in the garbage, your mask in the garbage. Okay, so Felicia says in New York, schools are closed. Yes. So in a situation where schools are closed and the family, there's in a family situation, the kids, a friend sent me a video of a parent who would dress her kids as though they're going to school, and she got 2 learning desks for them. So she would give them assignments and get them to do the assignments, maybe 3 hours worth of assignments, and she will kind of like go to work or go to some place and come back and assess them. So it's important that parents find a way to get the kids to study at home. So in the safety protocols, in the first one, what do? You make sure that you maintain a hand. You can set an alarm, wash your hands routine, set it on your phone. Okay, your phone will kind of like give you the alarm that every 15 minutes, every 20 minutes, everybody go wash your hands. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, everybody go wash your hands. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, everybody go wash your hands. And you can set the alarm on your phone. Then secondly, you can actually do vitamin C. You can get your kids or the family to take vitamin C supplements because it's proven to work against viruses. So take vitamin C. The third one, if you find out you have a cold or something like that, you can actually boil water. This is something that a routine that our great grandfathers here in Africa used to, how we used to combat these viruses. Okay, so we put the leaves, you boil the leaves of neem tree, and when you boil it, you pour the potion in a bucket. Then you put a chair by the bucket, you sit down, then you cover yourself in the hot water. Okay, you put the blanket over your head and over the bucket, and you put your head on the bucket and start inhaling the heat that is coming out of the bucket with the potion in the bucket. This is very important. It's a very important process because the heat, when the viruses come in, they live around here under the nasal structure. They live, this is where they live, and you can feel it. You can feel the heat there when you start feeling like you're sneezing or you have cold. If you put it there, the heat is just going to go and kill them because they can't take heat. Viruses, it's just a few viruses that are stronger than heat. They can't take heat. So when you boil the water to 100 degrees, because water will boil at 100 degrees Celsius. So when you pour that water in the bucket and you cover your head and the heat is just working you out, it's removing so many things from your body and it's killing the virus straight up, even before it makes its way into your lungs. So please, any medicinal herb can help you. Put it in the water. For me, I say neem tree. We have neem tree here in Ghana. I don't know if you have neem tree. You can Google it. It's a natural tree. It grows in vegetations. So if you have, just Google it and see if this is possible. You can find it anywhere else where you live, and boil it and then cover yourself with the blanket. And I think it's something you should even do from time to time. If you feel like you have a cold, you can do that twice a day. If you don't have a cold, you can do it once or twice in a week, just to clear anything that may be kind of like trying to get into your nasal frame. Okay, because somebody could have sneezed, hachu, into the air and left, and then you could just go and breathe that air. 3 minutes later, and that virus can survive in that air for 9 hours. So you never know. So please, even if you don't have the herb, just boil the water to 100 degrees and cover yourself with a blanket and stay in it. Inhale the hot air. Just inhale it. Inhale it. Inhale it. Inhale it for 15 to 20 minutes. You can repeat it in the evening if you have a cold, and you're good to go. You can put ginger in the water as well. Ginger is good. You can put mint in the water. It's good. Mint leaves is good. You can put lemongrass. You can boil lemongrass and then use it for the same process. It depends on what you can get where you are. Okay, so that is one. And another, before I leave, I think my final point will be people swallow mucus, not the mucus that comes out of your nose when you have a cold, but it's the mucus that is in the head or comes down through your mouth. People just swallow it. Don't do that. If you have mucus, spit it out. Never, ever, ever swallow mucus, because you are just going to help transport the disease to your lungs if you do that. If you have it and it's not gone into your lungs already, you're going to help to transport the disease to your lungs. So please do not, I repeat, do not swallow mucus. It doesn't matter if it comes in the form of saliva or whatever. Please do not swallow. It doesn't matter even if it's not corona, if it's just a common cold, don't. Because it will take it to your liver, it will take it to your lungs, and it's going to start its work. So thank you so much for staying tuned. And I also want to say, I want to end on a good note that in the midst of the chaos, please find your center. Find something that keeps you centered, because the negative energy is also not going to help. Do not let fear overtake you. You're welcome, Felicia. Thank you so much for being here. Do not let fear overtake you. You have to let reason lead you. You have to let reason lead you. If you have to drive somebody out of the house to go discard something they brought in from outside, then that's what you've got. You have to do to protect yourself, and they're gonna have to comply. Lead with reason. Don't do things out of fear, but do things out of logic. Do things out of logic. It's okay to have your hair in disarray than to think about, oh, I need to get my hair done. I need to get my hair done and go sit in a salon for 3 hours and let people come in and out and breathe on you. But that is a story for another day, because I'll be coming your way again today. In about 4 or 5 hours, I'll be back, because I intend to keep, you company through this stay-at-home period, through this quarantine situation, through this lockdown situation. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and let's go through this journey together. So when I come back in the evening, I'm going to tell you about what is happening here in Ghana, till today, what is happening here. And then maybe you can tell me what is happening where you are as well. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying with me through this, stream. And I'll come your way again. This is the Woke Africa Show. Remember, Ubuntu means I am because we are. So let us be each other's keeper. Let's help when we can. And stay safe, ultimately. Thank you. Love you, and stay safe. Mwah. Yes, my dear.